Have you ever attended a meeting which seemed to spin out of control, with frequent interruptions and arguments? If you have, then it's likely that a chairperson has failed to control the meeting effectively. In this brief lesson, we'll look at some tips you can use to better control meetings at work. Let's look now at some control challenges you will face in chairing a meeting. These include dealing with personality conflicts, handling interruptions in the meeting, and dealing with off-tangent situations. Let's look at each of these in turn. There are basically two different types of conflict you might encounter in meetings. Real professional differences. Conflict can arise from very real differences in professional opinions. In many cases, these differences don't develop into open conflict. But conflict is more likely when the outcome is extremely important, when the decision being made is irreversible, or when the impact of making the wrong decision will reflect badly on those involved. When this type of conflict is left unresolved, it can rapidly spoil relationships. And type 2 problems, power struggles and personality issues. Conflict can arise when individuals or groups dislike one another, or feel that their positions are being threatened. This type of conflict tends to be more about people's personalities, than about facts, or decisions being made. The second type of problem is power struggles and personality issues. Conflict can arise when individuals or groups dislike one another, or feel that their positions are being threatened. This type of conflict tends to be more about people's personalities, than about facts or decisions being made. The best defenses against conflict often involve preparing thoroughly before the meeting, and chairing strongly during the meeting. If you develop a reputation for running tightly structured meetings, there's less chance that individuals who attend those meetings will try to pursue their own agendas. Send out the agenda in advance, and when the meeting begins, ask the group to agree to it. Then follow your agenda closely, but don't be overly rigid. If a conflict arises, a good agenda makes it easier to recognize that the group is going off course. You should also be alert for meetings where the atmosphere and dynamics of the people involved make it more likely for conflict to arise. These include gatherings where known troublemakers, individuals or groups with a history of causing conflict are present. Conflict can also occur in meetings of new teams that have reached the storming stage of their team development. When individuals begin to struggle for influence, but the team hasn't yet established effective ways of working. In these situations, state the meeting rules in advance. For example, meeting rules might be as follows: individuals will be allowed to speak after raising their hands, and only one person may speak at a time. The chair may summarize what has been said, to make sure everyone understands. Everyone will be invited to contribute, so that one person cannot take over the discussion. As chair, you must be firm about managing and enforcing these rules. If the team needs to make decisions, you may also want to establish the decision-making process, and ask all participants to agree to this. One key to spotting the first signs of conflict is watching body language. How do you know if someone is frustrated? Look for these signs, making facial expressions of amazement or disagreement, such as shaking the head or rolling the eyes. The person may also fidget, or move around in a restless or nervous manner. Looking at other people to see if anyone else's body language, or facial expressions, reveal their disagreement with the speaker. Whispering or writing notes to another person. This may indicate that the frustrated person is checking on his or her position, or trying to gather support for a confrontation. This can apply to both types of conflict. Staring, possibly in an intimidating way, at the speaker or potential target of confrontation. In chairing a meeting, you will face personality conflicts at some time. How will you deal with them? Here is a simple mnemonic to help you deal with conflict in meetings. Stop. Stop the conflict by intervening and making a statement that acknowledges the conflict. Drop. Instruct the parties in conflict to drop the discussion for now, and regain their composure. And roll. Roll into a break. Let's look now at how we can handle the common problems in many meetings: interruptions. To handle interruptions, place signs in the room instructing participants to silence their cell phone, and switch off tablet computers. Make an announcement at the beginning of the meeting about interruptions. And place a reminder in the agenda. And what about people running in and out? Set expectations in advance that you do not expect people to go in and out of the meeting. But, incorporate frequent bathroom or refreshment breaks, and ensure timely feedback is given to those who break the rules. How do we deal with meetings which are going off the tracks? Using the EAR technique helps to do this in 3 simple steps. E equals engage. Engage the conversation by becoming a contributor for a moment. A equals acknowledge. Acknowledge that the topic is valid and worthy of discussion. And R equals redirect. Redirect the participants back to the conversation. Chairing a meeting is a fundamental requirement of management. Controlling a meeting differentiates successful from unsuccessful managers. Managers who fail to control their meetings will find their reputations tarnished and their career aspirations blocked. So, take some time to think through just how effectively you manage the agenda and keep the meeting on track. Handle conflict and control interruptions and distractions. Remember, you do not need to please all the participants, but you need to achieve the meeting objective and keep to the schedule. Subscribe now and join us in your career journey. Want to learn more? Click on one of our websites to view our range of online business and management courses.